Hello, my name is Shane Zimmerman. I'm the president and CEO of Two Rivers Bank and Trust. I oversee the operation of the bank on a day-to-day basis, as well as provide the strategic direction for the bank. I really enjoy working with customers and helping our teams provide the best customer experience and help them reach their goals. My educational background, I got an undergraduate degree from the University of Northern Iowa, and I earned a master's in business from Drake University.
Hi, I'm Eric Benny. I'm the Burlington Market President, and I'm also a Wealth Management Officer here at Two Rivers. In my role as the Burlington Market President, I work to ensure that our team members are supported so that they can achieve their goals, and then I also work to ensure that our customers receive the products and services that they deserve. I've only been in banking about 6 years. In my prior life, I was an attorney, and so my educational background was an undergraduate degree at Coe College and a law degree from Drake University.
I want to thank all of you for your interest in STEM and specifically math as a possible career. And I also want to thank the Greater Burlington Partnership for the opportunity to share some of the career opportunities at Two Rivers Bank and Trust. Tell you a little bit more about Two Rivers. So Two Rivers Bank and Trust is a full service bank in Iowa, and we help people and businesses reach their financial goals. For example, a business needing a loan to help grow, or when you need a car loan or open a checking account so that you can pay your bills and transfer money, and also invest for the future. Those are all things that we do to help people become successful.
Thanks, Shane. That reminds me why I want to work here. So today, some of the things we want to share with you are some career opportunities that we have here at Two Rivers, and then how those careers use math and how math is important in those roles. The interesting thing is there's a great number of careers that we could choose from, but we're going to choose to focus on 4 of them today. And those roles are going to be a teller, a processor, a business banker, and a wealth management officer. You heard a little bit ago about some educational requirements, and I think it's unique for banking as to what type of educational requirements are actually needed to get into the banking realm. And so, Shane, do we really need advanced degrees, or what educational requirements do you need to get into banking?
We have opportunities all over the bank with different educational backgrounds, anything from a high school degree all the way to advanced degrees. So whether that's high school, associate's degree, a college degree, or a master's, or even a law degree, many others that are available. And you can advance through your career and do education even while you're working when the time's right for you.
That's perfect. Well, should we go meet some of these roles?
Let's do it.
Hi, we're here with Mallory Chubb, and Mallory is a personal banker here, but she's going to help us talk about what a teller does today. So Mallory, can you talk to us a little bit about what a teller does here at Two Rivers?
Tellers assist customers all day long with depositing checks, cash, withdrawing cash from their accounts, doing loan payments, cashier's checks, pretty much everything with their banking needs.
And what skills or traits help make a teller good at their job?
Responsible, detail-oriented, have basic math skills, and willingness to help customers every time they walk in the doors.
Absolutely. Can you also tell us a little about what the daily job duties are for a teller and how they go about that?
Like I said previously, just depositing, withdrawing, making sure our vault is balanced, loan payments, cash advances, cashier's checks, and just assisting any customers with their needs.
And you've mentioned quite a few transactions already, so we know math is involved.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit how math does come and play an impact and a part on the teller's job.
Tellers are constantly adding and subtracting all day long, whether it's adding checks, adding cash. When they're counting cash back to the customers, they're adding that as they go. If they bring in a transaction for a deposit and they want cash back, then we have to subtract that cash from the deposit to get the total deposit at the end. So constantly doing math.
And a teller is a critical role, and while it may seem like low, it's not. It's crucial. It's a frontline worker, and in fact, Shane, were you a teller at one point in time?
Mallory, I don't know if you know this, my first job in the bank was a teller.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was attending UNI, and I was a teller for 2 years. Learned a lot about banking, learned a lot about how to take care of customers. I'm not sure if I was always good at the balancing part, but good enough, I think. And it just shows that also while you're going to college, you can have a career in banking and using math every day. It was a great way to learn the business.
Yep.
Well, Madeline, thanks for taking the time to share this information on a crucial role.
You are very welcome.
So I'm sitting here with Michelle Sanchez. Michelle, thanks for joining me this morning. We are talking to high school students about math, specifically math careers in banking that involve math. And tell us what you do here at Two Rivers.
I'm a loan processor, retail loan processor. So I work with mortgages for the most part, purchases of lots, homes. So I process all the paperwork, all the ordering of title work, that kind of stuff on the backside for the lenders.
So that's a really important job when you think about families that are buying homes, and that's a big purchase for them. And many people have dreams of that and goals about buying a home, and so you provide a really important role to help that happen. That's awesome. Now, I know you're really good at your job, and I'm curious of some of the skills that you think are beneficial for you to be successful.
Time management's probably the number one thing. We're dealing with 20, 30 loans per processor with 5-6 different lenders. So making sure that we're keeping everything timely, we have everything that we need for closing time, that we have all of our ducks in a row to make sure everything gets processed properly and nothing gets left behind.
Excellent. So I mentioned math earlier. I think about nearly every job in the bank, you touch math in some way. Curious from your standpoint how you use math in your everyday job.
So we do end up at the very end balancing what's our balancing sheet, who's getting paid what. If you're purchasing a home, obviously a seller is getting funds, so we have to make sure that they're getting the proper amount, their realtors are getting the proper amount, anything that we've had to pay, appraisals, title work, and make sure everything balances out with what the lender is letting somebody borrow plus what they're having to bring in. So just making sure everything matches on both ends.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot to keep track of. And so being organized, but also making sure that everything balances and that the money goes where it's supposed to go is really important. And also giving the homeowner real peace of mind that it's going to happen the way that they expect it to happen. So, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm here with Jenny Jackson, and she's one of our wealth management officers. Jenny, could you tell us a little bit about what you do in your role as a wealth management officer?
Well, we have clients come in that have a lot of different needs, anything from financial planning, college education goals, retirement goals.
And when you help them, do you help them with stocks, bonds, investments?
Absolutely. We do a lot of management of investments. That's one of our primary goals. When we're putting together our models, we look at a lot at alpha, beta, standard deviation. We figure weighted average returns because people would like to see the most up-to-date performance as of the market performance that closed that night. So we kind of are looking at a lot of different things.
That's great. What traits or skills make for a successful wealth management officer?
I think being able to talk to people and really get them to open up and share about what they really are wanting in the future for their personal goals, their financial goals, what they see as their perfect retirement, what they'd like to do as far as helping kids out, and also legacy planning, where they'd like to leave their money to help the next generation and the generation after.
So you work with numbers on a daily basis. So can you share with us how math impacts your job and the career that you have here at Two Rivers?
Yeah, so we're figuring a lot of weighted annual returns. People like to see year to date what their performance is on their stuff. When they come in and we review, they really want to see, as close as possible to the market close the day before, how things have returned, how they've done. When we're doing our model, we have model meetings about 4 times a year where we look at the investments that we put in our models. And we're looking at standard deviation, alpha, beta, market correlation, variance, all kinds of different things that you probably don't see outside of a financial planning book. A couple of the brokers are working on getting their CFPs to kind of further further our knowledge with the financial planning to be able to help our clients as best as we can.
As you work through investments, you're using addition, subtraction, percentages to factor all those things because people care about how their investments are doing. Does that sound about right?
Absolutely. Diversification is one of the biggest things people look at when they're doing their investment portfolios, so that percentages is a huge part of what we do. Addition, subtraction, you don't think about it because you just do it so much every day, but math is just a huge part of what we spend a lot of our time doing every day.
Well, that's great. Thanks for sharing a glimpse into your world.
Good morning, Burlington. I'm joined this morning by Ed Manshin. Hey Ed, how's it going? Good. No, seriously, joined by Ed Manshin, and he's one of our business bankers here at Two Rivers. And Ed, what we're doing today is we're talking to high school students about careers in banking, specifically careers that involve math. And I think you might know a few things about this. So,
Yep.
Ed is one of our business bankers here, as I said. Ed, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about what you do?
Well, I work in business banking, as he said, and that means I work with business owners, helping them with their financial needs. If they need a loan for their business or something related to that, a transaction with their accounts, I help them with that. So.
Excellent. So tell us about some of the skills that you think are helpful to be a good business banker.
Okay. Well, obviously being organized, understanding how to read financials, being able to communicate with business owners, and generally just understanding what they might need for their business.
So when you say communication, tell us a little bit more about that. How do you communicate with your customers, or how do you go about making that an easy conversation for them?
Sure. Typically, we like to meet with our business owners that we do business with on a regular basis to help them with certain needs that they have throughout the year. So one of those might be, purchasing inventory or buying a building or buying something else. So often we got to call them and follow up and those kind of things.
And I know, when we think about young people looking at a career and what the day-to-day looks like, now do you meet with customers in the office here every day, or are you out seeing them in their business?
We do both. Often the customers will come here to the bank, especially if we need to close a loan or do a transaction for them here. But often we go out to the business itself, meet with them there. Sometimes that helps us get an idea of the business itself and what they might need.
Excellent. So I mentioned earlier we're interested in math. So how do you use math in your job?
Okay. Well, it's an everyday aspect when you're dealing with financials. So often I have to be able to understand tax returns, the numbers that are associated with that, look at business financial statements, and then just even some basic math of helping them, either make a loan payment or withdraw money from their accounts, those kinds of things.
Yeah, sounds like there's a lot to do with it.
Yep.
Well, thanks, Ed. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
So the activity that we came up for STEM Week is a budget. And if you're like me and you hear budget, when I was younger even to now, I think boring. But in reality, you heard a little while ago Ed Manshin and Shane talk about what he does as a business banker, and a budget relates to all facets of your finances. So it plays a really important role in what you're going to do, not just now, but also in the future. And we'll touch on some of these things. So we're going to provide you with a form, and that form is a budget that you can fill out. And we'd encourage you to do this at home. Some tips that we want to kind of go through on this with the budget are some overlooked expenses. A lot of people, when we talk about things, forget how much they actually spend on food and entertainment. So those are two key areas that people often overlook. Another area that I think is important to touch on with you folks, you're soon going to be moving into your collegiate careers, and something that you're going to get inundated with are credit card applications. Credit cards can be the doom for some people early on in life, and so a budget is key to that, and understanding what you can actually spend and what your available spending limit is. That way that you don't get upside down and you run into those problems. Shane, do you have some tips on this?
Yeah, Eric, great advice. When you're setting your budget too, you can certainly write them down. There's nice budgeting apps out there for those that want to have it on their mobile phone. But some of the best practices really are pretty simple, which is to track what you spend. There's a lot of things that you can lose track of, and maybe don't think about, the trip to Starbucks or to your favorite fast food place. Those things all add up, or lending a buddy money or something like that. These are all things that can really derail a budget. So to measure it, keep track of it, write it down, or keep it in an app and look at it often. Some of the other things to be thinking about is, as they say, pay yourself first. So to put money back in savings right away, rather than it be the last thing, it to be the first thing. It will help you plan for the future and create really good habits to save, whether it's for retirement or to fix the car when it breaks down and things like that. So pay yourself first and then keep track of all your expenses. Hey, as we wrap up here, I want to just say thank you for considering careers that are in banking as well as that involve math. I wish you all the best in your future career endeavors, and also want to thank the Greater Burlington Partnership for letting us have some time with you today. Have fun.
And you have an interest in banking, come see us at Two Rivers.